So you never purl actually, you just knit.
You just said you purl. I think you made a mistake when you said that.
Oh, did I say
You
purl?
said you purled with a yarn over.
Å ja, jeg mente du slipper purl med... Nei, kan vi ta det en gang til?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Hi everybody and welcome back to our YouTube channel. We are, as always, your hosts Arne and Carlos. And today we are gonna knit brioche on the round.
We're back with brioche again. Last time we did it, I'd actually never done brioche ever in my whole life. And I'd also heard how difficult it was supposed to be. So Arne and I sat down and Arne told me exactly what to do. And I did it, and it was actually super easy. I didn't think it was difficult at all. So can you give a little recap of exactly what it was I did?
Yeah, because especially like when you do brioche knitted like knitted back and forth is very easy because you never purl. You always knit.
Yeah, it was we did it back and forth for a little scarf or something we were working
So
on.
what you do is that you knit the knit stitch and then you slip the purl with yarn over and you knit the knit stitch.
Yeah, exactly.
And you slip a stitch with yarn over. And the one you slip will be the purl.
So when you turn it around,
Yeah,
that was the first row, right?
That was the first row, and then you turn it around, and then you will, the one you slipped, the purl you slipped with yarn over will now be the knit stitch.
So you knit that.
So you knit that one, so that it will be knit two together, and then you make a yarn over and you slip the purl again. So you never purl, because you're always slipping the purl with yarn over, and you're always knitting the knit stitch
But
together.
you knit two together.
It will be two together because the knit stitch was a purl on the needle before.
which was the one you slipped.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So
So
that's
it's always knit.
always knit. Yeah,
And now you're going to do brioche knitted on the round
which is
with
going to be
one color.
Yeah, so it's going to be a little bit more. There's going to be an extra thing going on. But before we start doing that, a lot of people, Arne, were asking many questions. So the first question people were asking was the number of stitches. Do they do even stitches or odd stitches? How many stitches?
I like for the pattern you need something that can be divided in two because there's always a knit and a purl.
Okay,
it has to
so even numbers.
Even numbers, and then if you do a scarf, you can have like 2 or 3 knit stitches at the end, or you can do the what you call that, the I-cord edge or something. You can have something on the edge, but like the one we did, I think we had 3 knit stitches in the beginning and 3 knit stitches at the end, but then you have to have even number.
So cast on, and then we did a ribbing. You could do like a...
I think we had even number plus 1, because on one side we started with knit 1 and then slip the purl, and we stopped with knit 1.
Okay, yeah.
Because it was the balance.
Okay, yeah, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
And then then you go straight to it by slipping one with yarn over and then knitting one. Or knitting one,
Slip one with
knit
yarn
one,
over.
slip one with yarn over, knit one, slip one with yarn over. That's the first row. And then when you turn it around, you continue knitting and slipping, but then the one that you slipped with yarn over, those become 2 stitches that you knit together.
And that's now a knit stitch.
Yeah. So that was that. Now we're going to do... okay, so I've got what potentially could be a wrist warmer here. I've got 10 stitches on each needle. And I have done a knitting and purling, knit and purl rib.
Yeah. I like to have the 1 knit and 1 purl for the rib, because then it's a nice overgang, was that in English? Transition from the rib to the brioche.
Yeah.
Because when you now start to do the first round, which is actually you do 2 rounds for 1 round.
Okay.
So when you do the first round now, you knit the knit stitch and you slip the purl with yarn over.
Okay, let me try that. So I'm going to do it the Norwegian way, because that's the way we do it.
Yeah.
So the Norwegian way, I take my my knitting, I put the yarn over my left index finger and I anchor it down, and then I pick the stitches quite easily.
Yeah.
And for the first round, I'm not going to do any purling.
No
purling. So okay.
Not for the first round.
So I knit 1.
Yeah.
And then I go yarn over
and slip a purl and knit 1.
And then knit 1.
So this is what you did.
So knit 1, yarn over, slip. Sorry, and then knit 1, yarn over and slip.
Yeah.
knit one, okay, yarn over and slip,
Yeah.
okay, knit one, yarn over and slip.
Mhm.
So yeah.
And, then, and don't lose the yarn over now when you go to the next needle.
So next needle, let's see, it's there. And so if you, okay, so we knit the Norwegian way. So I knit one, and then I yarn over and I slip.
And the slip stitch, I guess that's what they call purlwise in English, because you go in to the stitch like when you purl the stitch.
So my question is,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm knitting the Norwegian way,
Yeah.
but if you knit other ways, if you're a thrower, if you do other sorts of continental knitting where your finger is up in the air, it's still the same. I mean,
It's
you
the
still
same,
do.
but you probably, I've seen some videos where people do it the other way, and I think you have to move your finger a little bit back and forth. I really don't know, because
Okay, so now
it doesn't, it's kind of, when you knit like this, it doesn't make sense in a way when you move your finger, because this way you just pick it from up.
yeah, and I suppose the advantage is you're not moving your finger at all.
No,
So-
it's always there, so it's kind of,
Okay. So knit one,
yeah, and slip
and then
with
yarn over, knit one,
And you see, it's so easy when you don't have to move the finger,
yarn
because
over, knit one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yarn over. Okay, I think I have one more. Yeah,
one
I have-
more, and then you will see when you do the next round, it's very different, I think, from when you,
from when I was doing the flat.
yeah, or when you knit with your finger up, or
Okay, so let me just finish this row, and then I suppose you will tell me what to do. So knit one.
and you do it so well.
Thank you.
Don't lose the needle.
There you go. Yarn over and slip. Knit one. Yarn over and slip. Knit one. So in case you haven't heard, it's knit one, yarn over and slip. Okay, yarn
Slip
over,
the purl and
slip.
knit a knit stitch.
Knit one, yarn over and slip.
And it's also, when you do it like
Knit
this, it's
one.
also hard to make a mistake
over.
with the yarn
Slip.
over when you do it like this.
Okay,
So that was the knit round.
let me
Now,
adjust my needle. There
Yeah.
we go.
so now you do the second round. It's kind of the second round on the first round,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
So what am I doing now?
Now you have to slip the knit stitch with yarn over.
Okay, so I go straight in there.
Now go under the needle, like,
Wait, hang on. I'm gonna knit it, sorry.
Yeah,
So,
no.
no,
Go under the yarn and you slip like,
there.
yeah, and then, no, not in front. Like, when I knit like this and slip a knit stitch, I slip the knit stitch as I slip the purl stitch.
Okay.
Because you're just, to slip a stitch, it means you're just moving a stitch
Yeah,
from
so I
one
just-
needle to the other without changing the direction.
This way.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then you purl the purl together with the yarn over.
Oh yeah, because I have the yarn over from the previous round.
Yes.
So I purl these two together.
Purl these two
So,
together.
okay, so
And you see now it's really hard. It's kind of hard to get
Ooh,
the
that's
yarn
a-
on the wrong side of the stitch when you
Yeah.
have the yarn on the finger all the time.
so now I go in again
And purl, slip a knit stitch.
and I go that way and
Yeah.
just slip it. Okay. This was a little tight.
Oh,
oops.
that's very tight.
Yes. But I am a tight knitter.
I know. You should have bigger
Okay.
needle
Yeah. So and then I just go in
and purl
and I purl these two
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
and slip the knit stitch with the yarn over. So it's
Yeah.
always under the yarn and slip.
So and I suppose if you knit other ways, you're still doing exactly the same thing.
I think you are, but I think maybe some, I don't know, I don't know how to do it if you don't do it like that. But I think sometimes people like to slip a knit stitch as they knit it. But I never do that for this.
Okay.
I slip it from
But I
the
sup-
back.
I think that the advantage of this way of knitting with the Norwegian purl is that you kind of have that yarn there all the time.
Yeah, so it's
So-
it's really hard actually to have the yarn on the wrong side of the stitch, because that happens sometimes when you do brioche, that you get the yarn over accidentally.
Yeah, but not if you're
But
holding
not
it
if
all the
you
time.
if you hold it like that.
So it's an advantage, and we're just saying that it's an advantage that we have when we do this. So if you want to practice the Norwegian style and then do the brioche as well, it gives you that advantage that you don't have.
Yeah, I saw
The yarn
some
moving.
comments. There was one who wrote that she was brioching like so quick now because she used this
Yeah.
style.
And remember when we were in Canada, so slip one, and then I do
The pearl.
The pearl, sorry. We met Andrea Mauring in Vancouver, remember?
Mhm.
She told us that she used the Norwegian,
That was a slip with
Whoops.
yarn over.
sorry,
You can't talk and do
I
this.
can't talk in. No, but what I was saying was that she told us that she had learned the Norwegian pearl in
Yeah.
order to, get the brioche a little bit easier. So sorry, so slip
And now
one,
you twisted the stitch
and now
but
I
don't care.
twisted the stitch.
because you took it off and put it back on the needle. I guess.
Whoopsie doopsie. There
You
we
see?
go. There we go.
And that happens if you slip a knit stitch knitwise.
Okay.
Try to slip it knitwise and see what happens.
I don't know how to slip it knitwise.
That's like
I just-
go into the needle as you knit it. You come in front.
in front that way.
You see?
Yeah,
That's when the problem starts.
but I want to go that way.
Yeah, because that's how you normally slip a stitch.
Yeah.
Because when you slip a stitch, you just move the stitch from one needle to the other without changing the direction. Because if you slip it knitwise, you will twist the stitch.
Yeah, but the most important thing we've learned now is that Carlos can't talk and knit at the same time, because then he screws it all up.
But this is easy. So should I take it one more time? Say it one more time.
Yeah, but hang on, because then we have a new row.
That's like the first row.
Yeah, but I want to do that as well. And that way we're kind of okay. So that way we're kind of 100% sure that everything is in order.
In order, yeah.
And because we want everything to be in order. So I've got the one below is the knit stitch, so I yarn over and I just slip it.
Yeah.
Voila.
And then you purl
And then I just purl
two together.
this. This actually comes pretty naturally, I have to say, except it is a little bit
Yeah,
tight.
you should
Yeah, but
relax.
it will loosen up now, I
Yeah.
think.
And this is just a sample, so
yeah,
let's
and then I slip one,
slip and
and
knit
then
purl.
purl two together. Yeah, so this is great, Arne. And how about the two color brioche? Are we going to learn that as well one
Yeah.
day?
We can do that also.
Yeah, a lot of people have been asking, and then a lot of people have been asking another question. They want to
Mhm.
know, how in the world do you fix a mistake in brioche? So you're going to have to
I think
try
you
to.
have to let the yarn, the stitches down to move the yarn, because if it's a mistake, it's probably the yarn is on the wrong side of the
Yeah,
the
but I mean,
stitch.
once you've done the mistake, if you want to fix it, we have to think on that one, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so I've got one more
I
row.
probably won't
or sorry,
unravel.
I've got one more needle left to go, and then I will be. Oops, something happened there, but that's not a biggie. Okay, so one more needle, and then we'll repeat it again in case you haven't heard. So I take yarn over and I slip the knit stitch, and then I go in
And
and
purl and relax a little bit.
and relax my fingers a little bit. Yeah, purl these two together, and then I release the knit stitch, and then I purl these two.
And if you put the knitting away and you're like, what did I do on the last round? Just check which
Relax.
stitch has the yarn over, because then you know.
Yeah,
If the yarn over is with the knit stitch, you know that the next round is.
yeah. And we talked
A
about the knitting, the slipping purl-wise and slipping knit-wise, right? In case people are wondering.
Yeah, because I would never slip a knit stitch knitwise, like as you don't slip it as you knit it, because that doesn't make sense when you knit like this.
Okay. So I've done my 4 needles, and I'm back on needle 1.
Yeah. So now you're on the knit. So now it will be knit 2 together and slip a purl with yarn over.
Okay, let me see. So yeah, I see that. So these are gonna go together.
Another very yarn over on the first one, which you lost. So you just put that yarn over back on the needle.
Sorry, I lost the yarn over. Oops. As I said, I haven't done this before, so.
So this was the yarn over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You are right. I'm so sorry.
And that can be hard, like when you go from one needle to the other, because you end with pearl with yarn over. Now it's knit and slip the pearl.
Okay.
And knit two together.
Can I
can do this needle for you.
Why?
Because it's so fun.
I know. Now we're going to fight over the needles. I actually enjoy this. This is actually very relaxing. And there's a rhythm here as well that I like. You slip one yarn over and then you either pearl or knit one.
Look, it's coming up.
So basically what I'm doing now is I'm doing the opposite of last time. Last time I was slipping a knit stitch with yarn over. Now I'm going to slip
which last time?
Well, the round that I've just done.
Oh, that was a slipped knit stitch with yarn over.
Yeah.
Now you're back to what you did on the first round, which is slip a pearl stitch with yarn over.
Exactly. Yeah. So I start here. I've got the yarn over, so I go
knit two together.
And I knit. Oh, I knit two together. Okay.
That's the knit stitch, and now
now I yarn over the pearl and slip that. Which is the same as the first row. Yeah. Although on the first row we didn't do that because we didn't have yarn overs. But we do now. And then I knit two together. Voila, the yarn split. So knit two together. And then I slip the pearl stitch with yarn over. And then I knit two together.
And actually, like, we call it like yarn over, but in a way it's not. It's actually needle under. Because you're not moving the yarn over.
Yeah, for us it's going under and harpooning that and slipping that. And
in Norwegian that is called kast.
Together.
So it's like you throw something on the needle, but that's also like in this case it's more like needle under.
Yeah, so
because you just.
So pretty much alternating every other row. Slip with yarn over the knit stitch and then pearl. No.
If you start with
I'm getting confused.
Knit the knit stitch.
There you go. Knit the knit stitch.
And slip a pearl with yarn over and knit the knit stitch.
And then on the other round it was
slip a knit stitch with yarn over and pearl. And then it's always pearl two together and
knit two together.
Knit two together.
Yeah, so nowadays I am knitting two together, I think.
But I have to say, when you do, like if you do a sweater, I think it's quicker just to knit pieces and sew them together, because then you never purl.
That's true,
it's
yeah.
just knit and slip all the way.
Yeah, the purling can be a little bit of a liability if...
You have to remember which round you're on.
Exactly. Okay, so that's pretty much it, Arne.
Yeah.
Do you want to summarize it just one more time, just in case, or do we think...
You have one round where you knit a stitch and you slip a purl with yarn over, and then on the next round you will slip the knit stitch and then with the yarn over, and then you purl the purl. And it's purl two together, because the one you slip is always a single stitch, and the one you knit or purl is always two together.
Yeah.
Okay? I think that was correct.
Yes, I think I got the hang out of this, or hang of it. It's actually a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see?
I think
you should stop it and you can continue knitting.
Yeah, because I need to kind of focus.
Yeah, so you don't do two knit rounds after.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. And, you know, I can't talk and knit at the same time. So I'm actually doing a lot of concentration right now in order to get this done. Therefore, I am going to let you do the formalities.
Yeah, okay. So if you like our videos, put your thumbs up, and remember to subscribe and put on your notifications, because then you will have a message every time there's a new video out and you won't miss an episode. And it's also good to be on the mailing list, because then you can get some good offers and you get the news first. Okay? Was that it?
That's it. And I think I'm gonna purl now. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, and there we go. We do the purl.